Good morning down in Osceola. Can you hear me?
Here?
Hi. Okay,
Hello.
I think I can hear you now as well. Good morning.
Perfect.
Okay. So I'm Judge Savage. You all are here for your first appearances. When I call your name, I need you to please come on up to the microphone where the public defender tells you to stand. I'm going to tell you the reason why you've been detained, whether or not there's probable cause for that detention, and I will tell you what the conditions of your release will be, if any. We are being recorded. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, I will appoint a lawyer for you if you qualify. Public defender who is in the courtroom over there with you today is not necessarily going to be your assigned lawyer if you get court-appointed lawyer, but he's just there for today's purposes in case you have any questions about what we're doing here today. If you were arrested on a warrant, that means another judge was already presented with the alleged facts, and then that judge decided there was enough probable cause to issue the warrant. So I don't have to revisit the probable cause determination. I typically do not change another judge's bonds unless there's permission written on the warrant to do so, unless it is a type of charge that temporarily can come in as a zero, but I'm obligated to consider a bond, and then of course I will consider that. We'll go from there. I do have some risk assessment sheets from pretrial release. I'm gonna ask PTR if there's any other history, and then I'll let the officer from PTR tell me if there's anything more than that's what's not on the sheets that I have. So it goes pretty quickly. We don't have court dates for you, so we don't know when your next court date will be. Whether you bond or you stay in jail, just keep in touch with either your lawyer or the clerk's office so that you don't miss your court date. If you're in jail, then we'll transport you. So just please keep those things in mind. Appearances from the state,
Sarah Castro on behalf of the state.
from the public defender's office,
Peter Schreier on behalf of the office.
and from pretrial release.
Jonathan Marino, PTR.
Thank you. And we have Ms. Flavia Rodriguez on the line here. She's the Spanish interpreter. I'm going to have her sworn in the event that we need translation. So if the interpreter can please raise her right hand. Do you swear or affirm that you will well and truly translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your training and experience?
I do, to the best of my ability. Flavia Rodriguez, State Certified Court Interpreter.
Thank you. Has the public defender identified anybody there at Osceola who needs a Spanish translation?
Yes, Judge, we have several.
Okay. Can you tell me who they are? Because mine aren't prioritized.
We've got Mr. Eliezer James or James Galindo.
All right, let me start with that one. Let me find him first. Eliezer James Galindo. Sir, please say your name.
Señor, por favor, diga su nombre.
Eliezer Jaimes.
Eliezer Jaimes.
Mr. Jaimes, you were arrested on a warrant.
Señor Jaimes, a usted se le detuvo por una orden.
And I don't have all the details of the warrant, but I believe it indicates that it was for sexual battery, count 1, and false imprisonment, count 2.
Y aunque no tengo todos los detalles que establece la orden, me parece que las acusaciones son agresión sexual en el primer cargo y privación de la libertad en el segundo cargo.
Bonds will be stayed at 0 on count 1.
Con respecto al primer cargo, se permanecerá en vigor la prisión preventiva.
Bond in count 2 will be set at $5,000.
En el segundo cargo se fijará fianza en cantidad de $5,000.
Do not have any contact whatsoever with the listed victim.
A usted se le prohíbe todo tipo de contacto con la presunta víctima.
Do you need a public defender to represent you, sir?
Señor, ¿necesita que se le designe defensor público para que le represente?
Sí.
Well, yes.
The PD will be provisionally appointed since he's being held on a 0 bond, but he has to fill out an affidavit.
De manera provisional se designará el defensor público para que le represente, ya que se ha fijado prisión preventiva. Pero él tiene que rellenar la solicitud de defensor público.
Your next court date will be on demand.
Su próxima fecha de comparecencia quedará por fijarse.
Thank you.
Gracias, señor.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
Judge Peter Square for the record, you just set Mr. James Galinda on a no bond status on
On
count
count one.
one. Count one of the warrant, I know he's not been charged yet, but that is a second-degree felony. It is not a PBL, so he's entitled to bond as a matter of right.
I don't have the details in the warrant. I know that that's what the judge said it as. I don't have any aggravators or mitigators. I have absolutely no objection to the defense filing a motion.
Su señoría, usted acaba de fijar prisión preventiva para el señor Galindo por el primer cargo, según lo que establece la orden, aunque las acusaciones no se han radicado formalmente. Es un delito de segundo grado, no es un delito capital o sancionable con prisión de por vida. La jueza ha dicho, aunque no tengo todos los detalles de lo que establece la orden, por tanto no tengo ante mí los factores mitigantes o agravantes, aún así no tengo objeción a que la defensa radique el pedimento correspondiente para solicitar fianza.
And again, I don't have anything in here indicating that the issuing judge would authorize me to modify his or her bond on the first count.
Y nuevamente, no hay nada aquí que me autorice, según lo que dijo el juez que emitió la orden, a modificar las condiciones de fianza.
I set a bond on count 2 because it's an F3.
En el segundo cargo he fijado fianza porque constituye delito de tercer grado.
Okay, counsel, you may respond.
I'm sorry, I'll try to refrain from jumping on the interpreter's feet. While I'm interrupting her by accident.
Can you speak up, please? I can't hear you very well.
Sure. I made the point that Mr. Galindo needs a bond on count one simply because it is not a PBL. I have not seen the warrants. I don't know what they're alleging. I'm only looking at the statute number. The statute number indicates that count
Your Honor,
one
I apologize
is
to
the first
interrupt.
charge
I'm
of
having a very
the
hard
second-degree
time
felony.
hearing the attorney.
Yeah, counsel, we can't hear you over here, and the interpreter can't translate because she can't hear you.
I'll move closer to the microphone. My only point was, without even having seen the warrant affidavit, that the first portion of the warrant is an F2, second-degree felony. It is not a PBL, so he is entitled as a matter of right to some kind of a bond.
Mi planteamiento es que sin haber visto la orden y sin tener el affidavit delante de mí, la primera acusación es un delito de segundo grado, no es un delito capital, por lo tanto, él tiene derecho a que se le fije fianza de algún tipo.
What I'll do is I'll pass it for 24 hours. The bonds will be stayed right now as I've stated already, and then ask that I be given a copy of the warrant so that I can read it and readdress it tomorrow.
Lo que haré será aplazarlo por 24 horas, las fianzas permanecerán tal y como se han fijado y conseguiré la copia del affidavit para poder pasárselo y leerlo también el día de mañana.
So I'll ask PTR over there at the Osceola jail, since I'm in a different county, to please notify our clerks that I need a copy of the warrant.
Así que por favor notifiquen al Departamento de la Libertad Provisional para que les hagan saber que necesito por favor una copia de la orden en este caso.
I don't know if it's Cynthia doing everything this weekend, but if you can please, and then I'll have the clerks here just send a note with their stuff also.
No sé si es Cintia quien se está ocupando de todo, pero le voy a pedir a la secretaria de acá que también envíe la nota con toda la información.
Okay, sir, we'll see you tomorrow. Nos vemos mañana.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and then what's the other one in Spanish?
Mr. Brian Vigo Aviles. Second from the bottom on the docket.
Mine's not second. Oh, there it is. Mine wasn't second from the bottom, but I found him. Brian Vigo Aviles.
Judge, he refused.
I'm sorry, sir.
He refused to come over.
Okay, let me ask corrections. Is Mr. Vigo a problem? Is he a two-man? Is he in mental health? Anything? PTR, do you know?
1 second, Your Honor.
Okay,
Is this an out-of-county? They got it as a say to FTA.
yeah, it's
but
Polk County.
Polk County, so it's not an FTA, it's actually out of county.
Okay.
I mean, can you access it for sure so I can make sure I have it right on the order.
Okay. It looks like he's in Ada County for Polk.
Yes, he, according to, the officer here, he stated that because he has the out of county from Polk, he refused to come so that they can pick him up.
Okay, but he's not a problem person or a mental health person or anything like that? He just said he didn't want to come?
Yes.
All right, go get him. He doesn't
Right.
have the right to refuse to come see me, so go get him. I ordered him to be present. He needs to be present. If he's not going to create a behavior issue, he needs to show up. So we'll pass him and come back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And what was the next one in
Yes, Your Honor.
Spanish?
That was it, 2 people only.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the others, and then when he comes back, I'll take his real quickly, and then I can let the interpreter go.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. We just received an email. There's a possibility we might lose power in the building. If that happens, I'll drive to the jail and we can finish the rest of the cases in person.
Oh my goodness, okay, were you supposed to be with us for the Orange County cases also?
No, Your Honor, I was supposed to cover those remotely, but if I lose power, then I'll have to drive to the jail.
That's what I
just wanted
mean.
to let you know just in case.
Okay, that's what I mean, though. You're assigned with me the whole
Oh,
day.
yes, I
Okay.
apologize.
That's
Yes,
fine.
I am the one assigned. Yeah.
If that happens, then I'll put the Spanish to the side and wait till you get here.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so just stand by and as long as you can.
I'll be here. Thank
Okay.
you.
Jamel Bailey. Good morning, please say your name. Mr. Bailey, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. Your bond is set at 0. Do you need the public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
PD will be appointed. They'll let you know your next court dates. I'm sorry, we don't have them today. Dale Dykes.
Does the warrant authorize you to, or allow you to change the bond?
No, it does not. No.
Thank you.
Dale Dykes. Sir, have a seat. Mr. Dykes, let's go. Good morning. Please say your name. Closer to the mic, please.
Gail Banks.
Thank you. Mr. Dykes, you have 2 cases here. You have arrest for failure to redeliver a hired vehicle. There is probable cause. And it looks like you are out, you have an active warrant out of Orange County, 19 CF 949. Is that IO or 10?
I'm not even sure. I didn't even get that case number just so.
Well, I find probable cause for
It's,
the.
1-0.
Okay. Failure to redeliver a hired vehicle, there's PC. And your bond in that case will be set at 1,000. And I'm gonna revoke your release. I'm sorry, I'm gonna also remand you into custody in the warrant out of Orange County, 19 CF 949 IO. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Dykes?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally on both cases. They'll,
9-4.
19, right there. I'll give that to you right there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Christopher Garofano. Good morning, please say your name.
Christopher Garofano.
Mr. Garofano, you were arrested on 2 warrants for violation of probation. Both bonds are set at 0. Do you need a public defender?
I do, and
PD will be appointed provisionally. What?
Is it possible that I get a bond on that? I take care of my father.
I'm not changing bonds, sir. You're gonna have to file a motion in front of the felony judge. Thank you. Richard Greenwood.
And you don't have a court date?
No, sir, they don't
No
give me
court
dates
date
on the
set?
weekend. They'll let you know. They'll give you paperwork
Okay,
with
thank
that date on it. You're welcome. Richard Greenwood. Good morning, please say your name.
Richard Greenwood.
Thank you. Mr. Greenwood, you have 2 arrest reports. You have stalking and disorderly conduct, which I've read. There's probable cause, and then you have battery and law enforcement. I've read there's probable cause. I know that you're also out on bond in 19 MM 3116. Your bonds will be stayed. The stalking will be 1,000, the disorderly 150, the bat Leo 2,500, and your release in 19 MM 3116 is hereby revoked and set at 0. Do you need a public defender?
Yes, at this point, I guess I will.
Okay, PD will be appointed provisionally. Thank you.
Judge, if I may, the only issue I wanted to address was on, I don't have the battery on Leo arrest report. I do want to address, however, if I may, the stalking PC. Arguably, this is improper language. I mean, given what he was calling allegedly his victim, but I would argue that there's no continuity of purpose as required under the statute. It's more of a harassing type of a situation, and I would argue that even if he allegedly used profanity, it is speech that's protected. So I would argue that the stalking PC is lacking, although I'll admit that the disorderly conduct PC is present.
Thank you. Noted for the record. Gypsy handling.
Is that the Spanish one? Yeah, can we bring him up?
Please state your name, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna hear you.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Hi, your name?
Gypsy Handley?
Ms. Hanley, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear for drug court. Your bond is set at 0. Do you already have a public defender, or actually, didn't you have Mr. Zielinski?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, so, we'll just leave counsel as previously appointed. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I assume you all
Your
have
Honor,
Brian Vigo?
Brian Vigo?
Yeah.
Yes, he's
All right,
back.
Brian Vigo, is the interpreter still on the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. Good morning, sir, please say your name.
Buenos días, señor. Por favor, diga su nombre.
Otra vez?
Brian Vigo Avilés.
Brian Vigo Aviles.
Thank you. Let me ask PTR a point of clarification that the clerk here asked.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if the interpreter is translating.
Permítame preguntarle a la libertad provisional algo que quiero aclarar, que me ha preguntado la secretaria.
This is an out-of-county order from Polk, correct?
Esta es una orden que se emitió desde otro condado, desde el condado de Polk, ¿correcto?
Yes.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so is it an out-of-county arrest on the petty theft or an out-of-county failure to appear?
Entonces, ¿se trata de una detención por el hurto de menor cuantía que ocurrió en otro condado o se trata de simplemente la orden y del incumplimiento?
Your Honor, it looks like it was on the petty theft.
Su señoría, parece ser que fue por la acusación de hurto de menor cuantía.
The second page that I have actually says VOP petty theft, no bond.
Es que en la segunda página que tengo dice incumplimiento con la libertad vigilada por hurto de menor cuantía, prisión preventiva.
So, Mr. Vigo, you're arrested on a warrant from Polk County for violation of probation.
Entonces, señor Vigo, usted quedó detenido por una orden emitida desde el condado de Polk por un incumplimiento con la libertad vigilada.
Your bond is set at 0.
Se le fija prisión preventiva.
We're going to let Polk County know we have you, and they're going to come and pick you up.
Le informaremos al condado de Polk que le tenemos detenido y ellos vendrán a buscarle.
If you need a public defender, they can appoint one for you in Polk County.
Y si usted necesita los servicios de un defensor público, le designarán uno en ese condado.
For future reference, when a judge orders you to appear for a court hearing, you have to appear.
Y para el futuro, cuando el juez le ordena que tiene que comparecer para una audiencia, señor, usted está obligado a comparecer.
You don't have the right to say, I don't want to go see the judge if the judge asks you to appear.
Usted no tiene el derecho de simplemente decidir que no quiere presentarse ante el juez si el juez le ha ordenado que tiene que comparecer.
And it doesn't get you picked up any faster.
Y nada hará que le detenga más rápido que esa decisión.
Thank you.
Gracias.
That's all we have for the interpreter for the Osceola pile. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Tina Hussein. Good morning, please say your name. Thank you. Ms. Hussein, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear. Your bond is $6,999, Judge Draper special. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
appointed provisionally. It looks like it's a failure to appear on a BOP. They didn't give me your court dates, so I don't know what they are, but they'll get them to you shortly, okay? Thank you. Scott Gilson. Good morning, please say your name.
Scott Gilson.
Mr. Gilson, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. You actually have a bond. The judge who issued the warrant gave you a bond of $2,000, so if you're able to post that, you can get out. Do you need a public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, PD will be appointed provisionally. They'll let you know your next court date. You might have one date if you're still in custody and a different date if you bond out, okay? So just keep an eye on your paperwork.
Okay.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Dewell Johnson. Good morning.
Johnson.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you actually have 2 writs. They're child support writs out of Orange County. They each have a purge of $1,200. If you are able to post that, you can get out of Osceola County, but if not, we'll get you transported over to Orange. Okay?
How long is it gonna take?
It shouldn't take long. We're in the same circuit, so day or 2, maybe? Thank you.
Hold you to that.
We hope it's today too, sir. Samuel Kong. Good morning, please say your name.
Samuel Kong.
Okay. Mr. Kong, you were arrested for 2 counts of aggravated child abuse. There is probable cause. PTR says you don't qualify for pretrial release. You score medium on the risk assessment. And PTR, any other history?
Your Honor, he was in pretrial diversion in 2016 for fraud use of a credit card and fraudulent use of an ID. That's it.
Okay. So bond in count 1 will be $5,000, bond in count 2 will be $5,000. No unsupervised contact with anyone under the age of 18 and no contact with the listed child or the mother. Do you need a public defender, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
PD will be appointed provisionally. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Yes. Everett Leopoer?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Your name, please?
Everett A. Lepore Jr.
Thank you. Mr. Lepore, you were arrested for domestic violence battery and violation of an injunction for protection against domestic violence. There is probable cause. PTR says you had a previous aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Was that the same? PTR, is that the same listed victim?
Yes, Your Honor, that was the same victim.
And also the same person listed in the injunction, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Bond in count 1 will be set at $2,000. Bond in count 2 will be set at $2,000. Does not qualify for PTR, but I will order no contact and maintain separate residence. Do you need a public defender, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, if I can, please.
PD will be appointed provisionally. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Emmanuel Lewis Johnson. Good morning, please say your name.
Emmanuel Lewis Johnson.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis Johnson, you were arrested on a warrant from Lake County. We didn't issue it, Lake County did. They set your bond at 0, so we're gonna give them a call and let them know we have you and they'll come pick you up, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ashley Montefusco. Good morning, please say your name.
Ashley Montefusco.
Ma'am, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. Your bond is set at 0. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed
Can I ask a
provisionally.
question?
Sure.
Okay, when I went to drug court 2 weeks ago, I was told that yesterday was my sentencing, and I was also told that they were not filing for VOP, so I'm confused as to what happened yesterday when
I don't know, I wasn't there. I wasn't in that courtroom yesterday. Although I know Judge Whitehead was using the courtroom that I'm normally assigned to, I wasn't listening, so I don't know what happened. Your PD can look into that. I don't know, sorry. Thank you. Ariel Perez. PTR, was the previous PTR already revoked? Because I couldn't understand the note. It says opened and then closed, warrant issued. So that means there's already a PTR revocation?
They're too close to each other, that's why it's got
1 second, Your Honor. I'll
Okay.
look at it.
Please say your name.
Ariel Perez.
Thank you.
Good morning, by the way.
Good morning. It looks like you were arrested on an accusation of petty theft. I read the affidavit. There is probable cause. It looks like you were out on PTR in 19 MM 3076 as well. I'm just trying to find out from the officer there what he can tell me about that status.
Yes, please.
Your Honor, it looks like there was a warrant issued. So the PTR was revoked on 8/16, and then on 8/20 the warrant was recalled. However, he wasn't placed back on PTR, but the case is still open. He has arraignment set for September 17th at 8:15 before Judge Arendes.
Okay. I don't have any other clarifying information with regard to that. So you're saying PTR was revoked and then the order revoking was recalled, but there was no direct order putting him back on PTR?
Correct.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay the bond and the petty theft at $500, and I'm gonna order that he report to PTR in 19 MM 3076. I'm not gonna revoke it and I'm not gonna zero it. I'm just gonna put him back on PTR.
So you're taking no action on,
Well, but I'm specifically
Which-
saying he's back on PTR in that case because they'll need an order to be able to supervise it.
so report to pretrial release.
He'll have to report to PTR on his way out. They'll process him out there.
Okay.
All right, do you understand, Mr. Perez?
Yeah, I do, and I'm a Hearst.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see. The screen here is very fuzzy and there's a reverberation. So no problem, Ms. Perez.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, no problem. Thank you. Have a nice day.
You
God
too.
bless you.
God bless you too. Yeah, it's every time I come to weekend duty, the screen gets smaller and smaller, and now I can't hear you all very well, and it's dark. So I'm working on that from the Osceola side. Robert Potachnak?
Robert Pototnik.
Oh, I wasn't too far off. Good morning, sir. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. I've read the affidavit, there is probable cause. PTR is telling me that you were on felony probation in 19 CF 158, and that began May 31st of this year. PTR, any other history that you can tell me about?
Aside from the case that he's on probation for, he had, let me see. He had arrests dating back to 2004 for trespass, burglary, grand theft, possession of methamphetamines, and false ID given to a Leo. That was from 2004 to 2005.
Thank you. So bond in the domestic violence case would be $1,500, no contact with victim, no return, which means do not share residences. The court finds an on-view violation of probation in 19 CF 158. I'm remanding you in that case and setting your bond at 0. Do you need a public defender, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
PD will be appointed. Thank you. Do you need me to leave my little sticky notes on there?
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay. Juan Roman?
Hey, Your Honor.
Good morning. Please say your name.
Juan Roman.
Mr. Roman, you were arrested on a warrant for grand theft. Your bond is $500. I'm just gonna order you not to return to the scene. Do you need a public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
PD will be appointed for you. Your court date will be on demand.
Your Honor,
Yes?
he does qualify for a PTR.
Oh, so are you suggesting bond with PTR? What kind of history does he have? 'Cause
Either
he-
either direct PTR or bond with PTR, it doesn't matter.
But he lives in Sarasota.
No, I stay in Fort Myers.
Okay, the address they put on your booking report says Sarasota. All right,
That's
so,
from my
all
judge too. That's what.
right, why don't we do this?
That's from.
Hold on, sir.
Excuse me, move.
One second, let me clarify something for the pretrial release office. We can do bond in the alternative. We can do PTR if he gives a good address and maintains weekly contact, or $500. So either one, and he can opt which one.
$500 or pretrial release if you qualify.
Correct.
PTR get out for free.
And either way, no return.
So PTR if we can verify his address or bond.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. And Mr. Roman, do you need a public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
PD will be appointed. Thank you. Jose Vasquez. I show that he, I have a sheet that said he bonded.
I think he bonded
He
out.
bonded, okay.
He
Just
bonded
double
out, I believe.
checking. Brentley Cummins.
Brentley Cummins.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Sir, I'm gonna have to exercise a 24-hour pass on this. You were arrested on a warrant for violation of an injunction, which is technically a misdemeanor, and then battery, which is also a misdemeanor, but they didn't give me any details. You are on probation in 18 MM 3168. If there's probable cause for these two, well, there's probable cause because there was a warrant issued. So that would violate your probation anyway. So you would be on a zero bond and your VOP anyway. But I don't have enough information to know where I should set your bonds. So I'm gonna find on view VOP in 18 MM 3168, remand and set it 0. But I'm gonna bring him back tomorrow on the new law arrest and ask for corrections or PTR to give me a copy of the warrant so that I can see where the bonds should be on the other two.
So 24?
24-hour pass to get a copy of the narrative. It's not a PC issue. The judge who issued the warrant found PC. But I need to know, since they're misdemeanors, I need to know where to set the bonds. Okay, Mr. Cummins, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you need a public defender? Sure.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Will I be able to know what they have against me when I come back tomorrow?
Well, I mean, I'll have a copy of the warrant. I'll have a copy of the warrant, but what I can tell you is that the judge who read the warrant signed it. And there's a violation of injunction and a battery charge on there. And that's all I know right now. But maybe tomorrow when they give me the paperwork, I'll know more.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And he said he did not need a public defender. Liza Morales. PTR, do you know why she was reset from yesterday? Judge Arendis reset her to today. Do you know why?
It looks like 24 hours for state attorney to supply supplemental affidavit.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Please say your name.
Good morning, Josh. My name is Eliezer Morales.
Thank you. So, Mr. Morales, I have a booking report here that I read that says you were arrested for domestic violence battery, and there is probable cause in the booking report that I read. So I don't know if this just wasn't given to Judge Arendis and that's why she passed it. PTR, do you have any other history for Ms. Morales?
She has no criminal history.
Okay. Ma'am, based on what I read, I'm gonna set your bond at $500 with pretrial release. No contact with the victim, no return. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
If you need an assist order, I'll allow you one time to go back with law enforcement to pick up your personal belongings, and the PD's office is appointed provisionally. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tanika Brazier. For the record, this was reset because when PTR was trying to process her out, they realized that she didn't qualify. Good morning. Please say your name.
Tanika Brazier.
Thank you.
Your
So,
Honor, it's,
yeah, go ahead.
she doesn't qualify for the mental health PTR, however, she does qualify for PTR with mental health conditions.
Right, that's what I read on here. So was it bond with PTR or was there no bond?
No,
Go ahead.
No, it was a bond with
With PTR.
mental health PTR.
Okay, so you just need you need an order from the court that allows, because otherwise she wasn't gonna be able to get out at all. You need me to change the order.
We need an order to state mental health
Conditions.
with mental health conditions.
Right, yeah, I got it. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. So, this case was already brought for first appearances. Judge Arendis already found probable cause. She already set conditions of release. However, the defendant didn't qualify for the PTR portion of it the way it was dictated. So the court is going to modify and amend the release only to be able to say that instead of mental health PTR, it's $1,500 bond with pretrial release with mental health conditions, and they are actually two different programs. And everything else from yesterday stays the same: the no contact, the no return, the one-time assist, the no alcohol, the no weapons and firearms. So I'm going to give you the copy of this order, so it's already here. Everything else is the same. We're just changing the wording on the PTR part of it.
So amending the release to pretrial release with
Yes, Your Honor.
condition,
And the bond.
with the bond, yes.
We have bond with PTR, mental health conditions. And then all these other little things that I have on the checklist here. All right, does that make sense, Ms. Brazier? Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's all we have for Osceola today. See you tomorrow. Yes?
Your Honor, 1 second.
Yeah, I heard somebody in the background go, Judge. I heard a little faint voice in the background. Yeah. Is that Ms. Dunkirk? Hey.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning.
In regards to Lisa Morales Velez, I was actually in court yesterday with Judge Arendis. The victim was present, and he requested contact with her. I just wanted to advise you, I was hearing it, and I wanted to advise you that I was actually physically there in the courtroom.
I appreciate it. If the victim's not in front of me and sworn to take, to give testimony, I'm not gonna change that for now, but they can file a motion if they'd like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Judge.
All right, thanks, Jen.
Have a good weekend.
You too. All right, thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Schmer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's see if we can rock and roll.
Is Spanish interpreters here?
Is the interpreter on the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi again. All right, appearances from the state,
Sarah Castro on behalf of the state.
from the Office of the Public Defender,
Megan Albrecht.
and from Court Interpreting.
Flavia Rodriguez, State Certified Court Interpreter, previously sworn in today.
Thank you. We'll start with Iris Esther Figueroa, and she's getting her headset put on now. All right, good afternoon, ma'am. Please say your name. Iris Figueroa.
Iris Figueroa.
Okay, Ms. Figueroa, you were arrested for domestic violence, aggravated battery. And there is probable cause. I don't have an affidavit for the public defender on hers, so I,
I'm sorry, Judge, on the Spanish cases, we don't have no one here to speak Spanish, so it's no one to go say to have them do it. So
Okay.
Then you lose your support.
understood. I reviewed pretrial release, risk assessment, no Florida convictions, no out-of-state history. Bond will be set at $2,000. She does seem to qualify for PTR, however, so I'll add with PTR supervision, no contact, no weapons or firearms, no return, A one-time assist is permissible with law enforcement if necessary. Ms. Figueroa, do you need a public defender to represent you?
I don't know, yeah. Somebody first.
I'm waiting for the interpreter's response.
What are the charges that I'm facing? I couldn't quite hear that.
Ma'am, you were arrested for aggravated battery domestic. Do you need a public defender, or are you gonna try and find a private lawyer?
No, defensor público.
No, a public defender.
All right, I'll appoint the PD provisionally, but I need you to fill out an affidavit. They'll give you one in the jail. Thank you, ma'am. Maynard Velasquez?
Judge, it was $2,000 plus pretrial release?
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Velázquez Morales Minor.
Velasquez Morales, minor.
Thank you. Mr. Velasquez, you were arrested for disorderly conduct, and then it says state misdemeanors. I'm not quite sure what it's meant by state misdemeanors. It seems like resisting without was alleged. It seems like maybe public intoxication, but it says state misdemeanors. So I'll ask the state attorney's office what they mean by that. What behavior do you believe constitutes the listed crime of state misdemeanors? Almost even like it's a municipal ordinance violation type.
Yes, Judge, a lot of times they do that instead of like panhandling or resisting without violence.
Let me just wait for the state to look through that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Velasquez, do you need a public defender?
No.
No.
Right, so
No,
here's
no
what I'm gonna
entiendo,
do.
no entendí.
I did not understand. I did not understand.
Do you need a court-appointed lawyer, or are you gonna find your own lawyer to represent you?
Que el tribunal me da un abogado.
To have the court-appointed attorney for me.
Okay, state?
Your Honor, upon doing a little bit of research, it looks like in the city of Orlando, there's a municipal ordinance that states it shall be unlawful to commit within the city limits any act which is or shall be recognized by the laws of the state of Florida as a misdemeanor.
That just sounds like a redundant double
Ye-
charge. Thank you. So,
that-
I'm gonna appoint the public defender. Gonna find probable cause for disorderly. Stay the bond at 250. And ROR you on count 2.
So no PC?
No PC on count 2.
Gracias.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
George Ayala. Is Ayala not an interpreter case? Sure thing, no problem. PTR is telling me no. That was it for the Spanish.
I only have 2 on my list, so I think we're done with the interpreter.
Okay, so we can let the interpreter go. Thank you for your time. I'm glad you didn't lose power.
You're very welcome, Your Honor.
All right.
Have a good
bye-bye.
afternoon.
You too. Are you David Fallon? Oh, never. Hold that thought, Mr. Fallon. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
George Angel Ayala.
Okay, Mr. Ayala, you qualify for the public defender. PD's office is appointed. You were arrested for 2 charges, attempted second-degree murder and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. There is probable cause.
Could I say I'm innocent?
You can say that, and we will record that for you. PTR identifies that he meets criteria for VFOSC.
He
Am
has
I reading that
hold.
correct?
Yeah, he has that hold. He
his fingerprints haven't been completed yet, so
Okay.
we can close it out.
All right. So, sir, your bond in count one is gonna be stated as 0. Your bond in count two will be set at $10,000. Next court date we don't have yet, they'll let you know, that'll be on demand.
Is the public defender appointed, Judge?
Yes, I think I said that right at the beginning.
No special condition or anything.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. David Fallon. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
David Fallon.
PD appointed. Mr. Fallon, you have a couple of booking reports here. You have an arrest for burglary of a dwelling or structure causing damage. Then you have another booking report for unoccupied burglary and criminal mischief over 200 but under 1,000. I find probable cause. And it looks like you're out on bond in 19 MM 610AA. So your bonds will be stayed. The one booking report is $5,000 for the burglary. The second booking report, your bond on count one is $2,500, your bond on count two is $100, and the court's revoking your bond in 19 MM 610AA. Thank you. Adeli Estrada?
Yes,
Hi. Please say your name.
Edlie Estrada.
Thank you. Ms. Estrada, it looks like you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. The judge who issued that warrant set your bond at a 0. You do qualify for the public defender, so the PD's appointed. Thank you. Michael Rum.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Ma'am,
Your name, sir?
Michael Rump.
Thank you. Mr. Rump, you were arrested for grand theft. There is probable cause. PTR, did I read the sheet correctly? He's got an open felony probation case, 18 CF 4945.
Yes, he is on probation, Your Honor.
Are there two cases, 18 CF 10225 also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, both out of Orange County.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw in here. I just wanted to double check. I'm a little unfamiliar. I'm less familiar with your sheets
Sure.
than I am with the ones in Osceola, so I wanted to make sure I was reading that correctly.
No problem.
So, Mr. Rumpf, I find probable cause for the grand theft. Bond will be stated at 1,000. No contact with the victim. You may not return to 452 Danton Ave, which is the address listed in the booking report. And I find probable cause for an on-view violation of probation, 18 CF 4945, 18 CF 10225. You'll be remanded in those cases and bond will be set at 0.
4945.
4945, and then 18 CF 10225.
No, 225.
Thank you, sir. They're in the PTR sheet. They're both Orange County.
I know, so let me see, maybe he was,
You want this? I'll give you my little note, put it on there.
cause then you would, do a, most likely it's gonna come with a affidavit.
It didn't yet, that's why I'm doing it on view.
Yeah, keep it on so that way.
No problem. You got it.
Yeah.
Irvin August?
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. You were arrested, it looks like, for trespass on property. After warning, there is probable cause. You don't qualify for PTR, which was what I was thinking of first. How long have you lived on Hinckley Road?
Hingley,
Do you live on Hinckley?
I live on Silver Star. Princeton.
Okay. Bond will be stated at $500.
Okay, sorry, Judge.
That's okay. And the public defender will be provisionally appointed. And no return to Walmart. Thank you. I'm gonna assume because it says he didn't qualify for PTR, that means he wouldn't qualify for mental health PTR.
That's actually different. Mental health evaluates for that, so you can put a bond or mental health PTR. They will evaluate them next week. It can take up to 5 days.
Was I reading that right? Did he possibly have concerns? The last gentleman?
Mental health?
Yeah.
I would say my instincts were yes on that.
That was my instinct too, so, all right, so then if I go back on the record on that one, mental health PTR if he qualifies, or in
Then
the
bond
alternative
or-
bond,
Yes, Judge.
the $500 bond. Either way, no return to the Walmart. It's kind of hard sometimes to know for sure with the, like, the very brief interaction that we
Right.
have, unless there's something in the police report that would clue us in. Okay.
Yeah.
Roman Gabriel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. You
Wow,
were
that's
arrested.
pretty loud.
Yeah, I know, it's.
Sorry
been-
about that.
No, it's not your fault, it's the
And I didn't
mics.
realize it was gonna be that loud, you know?
It's fine. Sir, you were arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. PTR says you don't qualify for PTR. You've only been here about 3 months, maybe.
Mm,
And,
little less than that, ma'am.
yeah, it says 1 to 3 months, so 3 months is
Right.
maybe the longest. All right, bond will be stated at $500. No return to the scene, and the public defender's office is appointed. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Austin DeLong. Please state your name.
Austin DeLong.
Thank you. So, Mr. DeLong, you have 5 different counts on your booking report. I'll tell you, count 2 I had an issue with. I didn't really know what the state was saying were the burglary tools that weren't already accounted for in some of the other charges. You're being held on attempted burglary of an occupied dwelling. Count 2, as I said, was listed as possession of burglary tools. Count 3, criminal mischief. Count 4, resisting without violence. And count 5, possession of a weapon on school property. So all but count 2, there's probable cause. Let me look at, I couldn't find a PTR sheet on him, and maybe I skipped it or missed it, but I couldn't find it in the stack.
He does qualify, all right?
Great, thank you. I'll give it back, I promise. Okay. How old are you?
20.
Okay. And, do you live in Fort Walton Beach and go to school here, or
Yes, ma'am.
do you live here somewhere to go to school here?
I'm here for college.
Okay.
And
So your permanent residence is Fort Walton Beach, but you're staying in Orlando to go to school?
yes,
Does
ma'am.
that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. And what year are you in school?
This is my second year, but first year down here.
Okay. So let me give this back to PTR. So, what I'll do is this, I'm gonna set bond in count 1 at $1,000, ROR on count 2, and then everything, 1,000, and then we'll just say 100, 100, 150 with pretrial release, no contact with the victim, no return. So 1,000 ROR, 100, 100, 150, all with PTR, no contact, no return. And the public defender's office, did you fill out a form? Do you need a PD, or are you gonna talk to a private lawyer, do you know?
I believe with a private lawyer.
Okay, so we'll wait for that private lawyer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ezekiel Llanos does not qualify for the PD. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Ezekiel Llanos?
Thank you. Mr. Llanos, you were arrested for domestic violence, battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, and domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. And let me look at your PTR sheet again. Bond will be set at 2,000 count 1, 1,000 count 2, 1,000 count 3. He does qualify for PTR, so those will all be with PTR supervision. No contact with the listed victim, no return, no weapons or firearms. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Daquan Walker. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Daquan Walker.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, you were arrested for possession of a controlled substance and domestic violence. The alleged victim is related to you by blood, listed supposedly as your uncle. There is probable cause. Looks like you're out on PTR in 19 MM 7435. Does that say OO?
AO.
AO, okay.
7435 AO.
Okay, so your bond in the new DV case and the drug charges will be $1,000 count 1 and $1,500 count 2. And I'm gonna revoke your PTR 19 MM 7435 AO, set at 0. And the public defender's office is appointed on both. if not already appointed on the other
And
case.
this special condition, DV.
Just no contact with the listed victim. Thank you. Destiny Wallace. State, I'm gonna just keep going. If you see something you need to get on the record for, just jump in.
Yes, Your Honor,
All right, thanks. I mean, I just kind of roll with it, but if there's something specific that you believe I missed, or you want me to notice, I don't take offense. Just jump in and let me know.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, good afternoon, ma'am. Please say your name.
Destiny Wallace.
Thank you. Ms. Wallace, it looks like you were arrested for, it says domestic. I don't know that it quite rises to the level of domestic. So aggravated battery, criminal mischief greater than 1,000, and battery. And there is probable cause. I'm not going to find PC for the domestic enhancements, but that's something that the state attorney can decide if they want to charge it that way. According to pretrial release, you have 12 previous failures to appear. Your bonds will be set at $2,000 count one, $1,000 count two, so 2,000 count one, 1,000 count two, 2,000 count three, no contact, and no return to the listed victim's house.
Well, that's our house together, so
All
how
right, so
would
then
that
you
go?
have to maintain a separate residence.
May she get a one-time return with law enforcement?
She may have an assist order with law enforcement.
That's a 2 on VOPs that you.
All right, no problem. Be happy to. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
No problem. All right, so that should bring us to Donovan Courtney.
Hello.
Hi. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Donovan Courtney.
Thank you. So, Mr. Courtney, you were arrested for domestic violence battery and resisting without violence. There is probable cause.
Ma'am.
Are you gonna need a public defender to represent you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you fill out an affidavit? Do you know? Do you remember filling out any paperwork with regard to that? Because I didn't get it. No?
I don't believe I did.
All right, I'll appoint provisionally, but you're gonna have to fill one out within the next couple of days. All right. So, ma'am, we are being recorded. Anything that you say can be played back and used in other proceedings if it goes any further than what we're doing in here today. You are not obligated to say anything if you don't want to, but if you would like to speak, I need to put you under oath.
Yes.
Okay,
ma'am.
please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give me will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please tell me your name.
Angela Gonzalez,
Ms. Gonzalez, who are you in relation to Donovan?
his wife.
Okay. What would you like for me to know, ma'am?
I just would like you to know this is a misunderstanding. The night in question, the morning in question, I was a little upset because the hotel we're living in, I had got bit, and my husband, I woke him up and told him I was bit by like a bug. And he was telling me, something always happens to you. And then I start yelling, why are you worried about that? And then the guy who works there, they called the police, not the guy who works there, I'm sorry, one door down from him, called the police. When the police came, they looked over me and they said, I don't see nothing wrong, what happened? And I told them, and they said, well, one of us has to go to jail, so they're taking him. And then the officer himself, not the officer that brought him, but the other officers told me to come to court and let you know. And he really didn't touch me, other than hugging me and telling me to calm down, it's gonna be okay. That's what he always does, because I have other issues. I have panic attacks. I need him right now. We're out here living in a hotel, and we're here for work.
Where are you from?
We're from Michigan. We moved here, so he can work all year round, because in the wintertime down there, he does roofing, he can't do it there. And we're in a hotel. We originally came here to move to Daytona. We had a house set up. Once we got there, it wasn't the house that was in the picture, and it was a really bad neighborhood. So we came to Orlando.
Okay.
And we've been stressed for a week. Today's 8 days, now trying to get a house. And I need him to go to work so we can get into our house, because we've been spending our money that we have for our house that we was originally supposed to get, and we've been spending that on a hotel over here on International Drive.
Do you work?
I'm not working at the
So you
moment.
depend on him for your support?
Yes, and all my things are in the vehicle. I have another day over there.
How long have you been together?
We've been together 3 years, married a year and a half.
Okay. State, do you have any questions?
Please let him out.
Did he at any time touch you?
Never. He hugged me. I have issues. Like, he'll hug me and he'll set me down and he'll rock me when I panic because I don't take my medication. They try to give me Xanax. He'll rock me. But this time he didn't. He hugged me and kissed me, told me calm down, it's going to be okay, because I was yelling at him. Because he was worried about the time I woke him up, telling him that I was bit by the bugs. And I was like, why are you worried about what time it is? You should be worried about me being bit. And I started yelling. And they called the police. And I explained that to the officers. And they told me that they have to take somebody. So they told me to come here and explain that too. They looked over me. They didn't see nothing. He's never touched me. If anything, he's my medicine out here. I need him.
Ma'am, you gotta let her ask you questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We'll be here all morning if we
Sorry.
go into the same explanation.
Are you in fear from him in any way?
Not at all.
Your Honor, typically in domestic violence cases, we're encouraged to always argue no contact with the victim, but we would defer to the court in this matter based on the testimony from the alleged victim.
Does the public defender wish to inquire at all?
We'd ask for no hostile contact.
Ma'am, let me ask you something. Part of what I can do, even though people think judges can do anything they want, that's not true. I'm restricted by rules.
Okay.
Part of what I can do in these situations is give people who need protection some sort of help in keeping them protected. Normally in these types of cases, we would say no contact. So just in case what you're saying, what the police wrote in the report is true, if he did hurt you, the protection is for your benefit. If you ask me to take that protection away, you're taking away from me the one thing that I can do to try and help you stay safe.
I'm actually begging you to take that away. I need him.
I just want to make sure you
He's
understand.
all I have.
I understand that. I just want to make sure that you get what I'm saying as far as you were asking me to take away the help that I can give you by letting him have contact with you in case you need that help.
I understand
Okay.
clearly.
All right. So bond will be set in count 1, $500, count 2 at $500. No hostile contact at the request of the listed victim. And we'll let you know what your next court dates will be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Graciela Guerrero. Good afternoon, ma'am. Please say your name.
Graciela Guerrero.
Thank you. Ms. Guerrero, you were arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. Sir, I saw you sitting in there when I was talking to the lady a few minutes ago. Did you understand what I was saying to her? Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to tell you, no, for you. You do not have to say anything if you don't want to, okay? But if you want to speak, anything that you say today could be used in another court proceeding in case this goes any further than today. So if you want to speak to me about anything that happened, I have to swear you in. If you don't want to say anything, you don't have to.
Can I talk to a little bit?
I can't hear you.
Can I talk to a little bit, explain a little bit?
Well, I just want to know if you have any opinion as to conditions of her being released. Do you have an opinion? I have to decide if she gets a bond and how much to give her for a bond, and if I should put any conditions on her getting out. Do you have any opinion on that?
I think it's not necessary everything, no? Because it's only we are argued. but-
Okay. I'm assuming he needs
I
an
think
interpreter.
he meant we were only argue.
No, I understand. I speak
Okay.
Spanish and I
No, I'm sorry.
understand,
Okay.
you know, and not to be rude, for lack of a better expression, broken English, which is what most of my family speaks. But I still would have to have a translator if he was gonna
Okay.
testify. So, okay. And we already let the interpreter go. All right. What's your name?
Cesar Sevilla.
Okay. Mr. Sevilla, please raise your right hand. We'll do this the best we can. Do you promise that anything you say to me is going to be the truth?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Please lower your hand. Who are you relation to Miss Guerrero? How are you connected to her?
Oh, she's my wife.
Okay. And are you the person who is listed as the victim in this case?
The police.
The police wrote you down as the victim. Is that correct? Okay. All
I
right.
don't think so.
Sir?
I don't think so. I'm the victim. It only was argued, but
It was an argument?
Trying to get him back on the line.
Sure.
But only when discuss yelling now, but no violence.
Mr. Sevilla, the police report says that when law enforcement arrived, they were told that Miss Guerrero was seen hitting you, and that you recorded her on your phone hitting you. Is that the truth, or is that a lie?
No, it's no hitting me. It's only she tried to looking for her cell phone in my car. She want to enter in my car, but she didn't hit me.
You didn't show a video to the police?
Yeah.
Does the video show that she's hitting you?
Yeah, in the video says she is only yelling, but no, and threw away my thing, but no contact me. No.
All right, well, the police report says, Sevilla showed me the video that was recorded from his cell phone. It shows Guerrero opening the passenger door and beginning to strike him with both of her hands. So the video that the officer saw shows her hitting you. So that's a lie?
No hitting me. She threw my stuff in my car and threw away to the outside.
Okay.
Yeah, but no hitting me.
State, do you wish to inquire? I'm not going to need the interpreter.
Okay.
Do you need to would you like to inquire at all?
No, Your Honor. At this time, the state would be arguing no contact.
Defense, do you wish to inquire? No, Your Honor. All right. So, Public Defender's Office is appointed. Bond will be set at $1,000 with pretrial release. She does qualify. And I'm going to order no contact with the listed victim. Something's going on here. Somebody's lying. Maintain separate residences. Thank you. $1,000 PTR, no contact, maintain separate residences. So it would be no return for so long as he stays in the house. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Christopher Hippensteel. Good afternoon, ma'am. You're not obligated to say anything. If you'd like to say anything, I have to have you sworn in. Please remember, anything that you say today can be brought up in further court proceedings. Do you want to say anything? No? Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, look at me, not at her. What's your name?
Christopher Evans.
Thank you. Sir, you were arrested for assault and obstructing justice by harassing in a misdemeanor action. I actually find that it's domestic in nature based on what's alleged in the affidavit. So it's domestic assault. PTR, I reviewed the sheet that you gave me, and Mr. Hippensteel has some Florida arrests, but limited Florida convictions?
Yeah, just convictions for loitering and prowling and drug equipment possession.
The history that you show, kidnapping, false imprisonment, and 2 times battery, do you know if it was the same listed victim?
I do not know, Your Honor.
Okay. Bond will be set at $1,000 count 1, $500 count 2, no contact with the listed victim, and the public defender's office is appointed. Sir, don't look at her.
Another condition, any return.
And no weapons or firearms. Well, they would not. I don't
What
think
is that
they live
gonna do?
together.
You've
I'm not
already
sure if
screwed
they
me.
live together. Let's say maintain separate
No, I didn't do
residences.
anything, ma'am. I didn't.
Yeah, they do live together. So no return, maintain separate residences. Thank you. Prince Johnson. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Prince Johnson.
Thank you. So, Mr. Johnson, you were arrested for domestic violence battery. It's alleged that you and the victim have a child together, so there is probable cause. PTR says you have 8 violations of probation and 7 failures to appear. Your bond is going to be set at $3,000. You do not qualify for PTR, but I'm going to order you have no contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence from her, and the public defender's office is appointed. Thank you. Thank you. No, that's okay. Kevin Myrie? Good afternoon, sir. What's your name, please?
Kevin Meyer.
Meyer, thank you. And your name, ma'am?
Michelle Cardwell.
Ma'am, are you gonna wanna say anything with
can't hear
regard
you
to the
very
case?
well. I can't hear well.
Okay,
I said I can't hear very well.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, if he's my son.
Okay, are you going to wanna testify to anything?
I'm asking all charges to be dropped.
Okay, well, that's gonna be up to the state attorney's office. Okay? They're gonna have to decide. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't speak any louder than this.
Yeah, I'm asking if you could drop all charges.
Yeah, I heard
Oh,
you,
my
ma'am,
name's
yeah, I
Michelle
heard
Card-
you. Okay. It's not up to me to drop the charges. It's up to the state attorney's office. Okay?
I can't hear you. Can I get
Does
some
she-
help?
Is she hearing impaired? Does she have a?
Judge Johnson, the last one, how much was this for?
The attorney has, I'm sorry, which one attorney?
Oh, yeah, that one was 3,011.
Three?
Yeah. Sir, is she hearing impaired?
She's very impaired.
Okay.
Very
I don't know if they have any listening
Could
devices.
someone
We're trying to get her a
talk to
listening
her
device.
about?
I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. We're just trying to help you. We're trying to get you a device.
Yeah.
I think the officer out there was telling her to listen back, said she had to hear that.
Thank you.
No problem.
I was born with a hearing disability.
It's not a problem. We're doing our best. Well, she can hear some, but she can't hear well, so I didn't know if maybe increasing my volume would help. Which for me is never a problem. I can get really loud. I'm Italian, so. Let's see if this will help. Okay, is that any better? Anything now?
I'm not hearing nothing.
That's okay, we'll try and see. I gotta keep talking so that way you know if it's coming through or not. Is that any better?
Try again.
Okay, can you hear me any better now?
A little bit.
Okay, good, that's the important thing. So I understand that you're his mom.
I'm his mother.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear that anything you tell me will be the truth?
I do.
Okay, please lower your hand. You can put your hand down. All right. I read the paperwork. You're being detained on a charge of domestic violence, battery. Technically, there's probable cause. I did read it, and I know exactly what was alleged. Ma'am, do you wish to have contact with your son?
Yes.
Okay, now, the paperwork says that this started because of an argument between you and your husband that he wasn't really too thrilled with. If I let him have contact with you, what happens if there's another issue between you and your husband and your son doesn't like it?
Then he won't be allowed back at the house.
Okay, are you able to be in between your husband and your son?
I'm allowing him to be back at my house.
Okay, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Say that again.
Do your husband and your son get along?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more?
Do your husband and your son get along?
I get along with him. The boyfriend's been getting along with him.
The boyfriend, okay, I apologize.
He never hit me or touched me.
I understand, but it says he threw something at you, and that's, if something is thrown and it makes contact, that's considered a battery. So that's where that comes from. Are you scared of your son?
No.
If he comes back to the house and tempers start to get high, will you call the police?
I would call the 911 operator.
State, do you wish to inquire?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Bond will be set at $500, no hostile contact with the listed victim. He may return for so long as his mom allows him to stay living at that house. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Thank you. Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Now I'll back off a little bit. Antoine Perry. Oh, thank you. Hi, are you Mr. Perry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Perry, good afternoon. I'm Judge Unsavage. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. It says that you got into a tiff with your sister. I read the affidavit, and there is probable cause. PTR says you have 4 failures to appear, and you have an arrest history that includes aggravated assault with a deadly weapon 4 times.
4 times, yeah, I did, but that charge, I never been convicted of that charge.
I know. That's why I said an arrest history. Your bond is going to be set at $1,000. You don't qualify for PTR, so I can't order that they supervise you, but I am going to order that you have no contact with your sister, and you have to maintain a separate residence. Don't possess any weapons or firearms in the public defender's office. Do you need a public defender, sir? Because I don't have an affidavit for you.
I don't need one.
No? Okay, so no PD. Thank you. Ronchiana Robinson. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Ronchiana Robinson.
Thank you. So, Ms. Robinson, you have 2 different things here. You have a new arrest for violation of a domestic injunction, and then you have a warrant for failure to appear. Boy, I'm still really loud, aren't I? Sorry. Okay. The failure to appear warrant came with a $1,000 bond already, so that bond's gonna stay where it's at. The violation of injunction I read, and there is probable cause. And, I'm gonna set that bond at $1,000. No contact with the listed victim, abide by all injunctions, and no return to the victim's residence. The Public Defender's Office is appointed. Thank you. Mary Wallace?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Are you Miss Wallace?
Yes.
Ms. Wallace, you were arrested for battery. There is probable cause. You do qualify for the public defender. You don't qualify for PTR. Your bond will be set at $500. No contact with the listed victim, and do not possess or consume any alcohol.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. John Zissett? Good afternoon, sir. Are you John Zissett?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Thank you. Looks like you were arrested for domestic battery. I read the affidavit. It appears that the alleged victim is your brother.
Yes,
There
ma'am.
is probable cause.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Might I add that
All right, Mr. Zissett, after you spoke a little bit with the public defender, you still want to say something? It's
Yes,
usually
ma'am.
advised not to, but
Yes,
I can't
ma'am.
stop you.
I would like to request, if you may, that either a pretrial release or anything that you could,
You don't qualify for pretrial release. That's
Anything-
always what I look at first. and
anything you
don't
could push
qualify.
for me to get out of here would be appreciated.
Well, I'll set your bond at what I think is appropriate here, which is $500.
Thank you, ma'am.
But I'm gonna order that you have no contact for the time being with your brother, and you have to maintain a separate residence.
Okay, Your Honor, how do I go about getting my stuff?
You can have an assist order. We can give you an order that says you can go back to the house one time with law enforcement to get your things.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you need a public defender to represent you? Because I don't have an affidavit.
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Thank you. Tashana Polanco? Hi, are you Miss Polanco?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I know I do that too. That happens to me all the time. All right, so that's that. So, Ms. Polanco, you have a couple of charges that are listed here. This was reset. Why was it reset? Just she wasn't available
You
or?
click on the next page, I think it say behavior at the top.
It does say behavior, okay.
She should have 2 cases now.
Yeah, I have this one police report, burglary of a conveyance with an assault or battery therein, battery and neglect of a child. And then a second police report, which is battery on law enforcement, resisting with violence and domestic violence battery. So, the first booking report. Burglary with a battery therein, there's probable cause. Battery, there's probable cause. Neglect of a child, I'm gonna find no PC in this police report. I don't think that there was enough detail put together, but that doesn't mean that the state doesn't have information that they could still try to file on. It's just for PC, it was a little bit too scattered with regard to exactly how the child was in danger. So, I'm gonna ROR her on count 3, but I am finding PC on counts 1 and 2. And then the third, the 3 count, bat Leo resisting with and DV bat, there is probable cause for all 3 of those. So the burglary of conveyance bond will be stated 0. The battery will be 1,000. No contact with victim, and like I said, count 3 will be an ROR. And then battery law enforcement will be set at 2,500. Resisting with violence 150. And battery domestic 1,000. No contact with the listed victim and no return to his house. Maintain separate residences. I think they already do.
No.
If I read this police report correctly, but if they don't, the order will be to maintain separate residences.
He lives in my house.
He lives in your house?
Yes.
Okay. Well, for the time being, you're gonna have to decide where you're gonna have to stay. Because you can go back one time with an assist order, you can file a motion, if he voluntarily leaves, that's doable as well.
Yeah, because the name is under my name.
Excuse me, ma'am?
The name is under my name.
Okay, but if he lives there too, I can't evict him.
Okay.
Okay.
I got you.
All right.
Just maintain some resident.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's gonna be in on a 0 on the burglary, burglary with the battery therein, but yeah, maintain separate residences. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I missed it. It's because they're 2-pagers. I hate the 2-pagers. Tyler Anderson.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For the record, Mr. Anderson did not qualify for the public defender. He filled out an affidavit and he didn't qualify. I can never say the name Mr. Anderson without thinking of the Matrix.
I know.
Mr. Anderson. Always, always. Raquan Bell,
Yes, ma'am.
good afternoon. Are you Mr. Bell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Mr. Bell, you have a warrant, it looks like here, for possession of a firearm by convicted delinquent, grand theft of a firearm, and resisting without violence. The judge who issued that warrant set your bonds at 4,000 count 1, 150 count 2, and 100 count 3. The public defender's office is appointed. I'm gonna also order just to temporarily surrender any firearms, if not already ordered.
In there it has a no contact with the victim, do not return to the scene, no.
Okay. Whatever the warrant says, no contact with victim, no return to scene.
No legal drugs and no weapons.
Do not possess any illegal drugs, do not possess any weapons or firearms.
You said surrender within, 24 hours?
Sure. And the public defender's office is appointed.
Your Honor, but I'm sent to prison.
Okay.
And I already got a warrant served to me in the juvenile detention center for this case, and I went in front of a judge already for all these charges.
Okay, that I don't know, but what we can do is the public defender was just appointed, they're gonna look into it. You definitely don't wanna get rearrested on something that you've already dealt with. But they don't give me all of that info.
Yes, ma'am.
So unfortunately, I don't have it. But the good news is you get to hang out here a little bit before you get sent away anywhere. It's probably better
I was
to
already
be
at my
here.
camp. They had them pull me back.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know.
I
I don't have that answer for you at this moment, but because I just appointed you a lawyer, they are gonna definitely look into it for
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good luck. Leon Boyd. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Leon Boyd, Jr.
Thank you. So, Mr. Boyd, you were arrested for possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, possession of paraphernalia, Looks like you're also out on bond on almost exactly the same charges. So I find probable cause, bonds will be stayed, 15,000, 1,500, and 19 CF 11244. 11244AO
Yes.
will be revoked, set at 0. Public Defender's Office is appointed, sir.
I
Thank
can't
you.
bond out?
No. And do I go too fast for you? Okay. You're a pro. Okay, Denathan Edwards?
Denethan Edwards.
Denathan, I'm sorry, Mr. Edwards. Sir, you were arrested for fleeing and eluding, possession of marijuana over 20, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, and resisting without violence. And there is probable cause. It looks like you do not qualify for the public defenders. According to PTR, you have 6 failures to appear, convictions for reckless driving, driving on a suspended, possession of paraphernalia, possession of controlled substance, resisting without twice, paraphernalia, reckless, concealed firearm. Your bond will be $5,000 in count 1, $1,000 count 2, $2,500 count 3, and $100 count 4. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Did not qualify for the PD. John Fitzgerald.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes, ma'am, John Fitzgerald.
Thank you. You also do not qualify for the public defender. I don't know, the clerk says you didn't qualify. You were arrested for possession of fentanyl. There is probable cause. Looks like you're out on bond. 19 CF 11880AO.
Yes.
Okay. Your bond in the new arrest will be set at $1,000, and your bond in 19 CF 11880AO will be revoked and set at 0.
Can we take no action? On the other one, I was working with something, this is actually the same exact.
No, I'm not gonna
Stuff.
take, no, I'm revoking your bond on that case. You were bonded on 820 and you just got arrested for a new drug charge,
It's the
so your
same
bond is
though.
revoked.
It's the same charge, that's what I'm saying, it's, they came back on it, and it's a different product, that's the thing.
Okay, that's not what it says in the police report. The police report says that on September 13th you were stopped, and that's when they found the fentanyl on you. So it's not the same case. Thank you. Todd Jerolimic. Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Todd Lewis Jarlemic II.
Thank you. So, Mr. Jerolimic, you have 2 police reports for attempted burglary of a conveyance, and then you also have exposure of sexual organs. I've read the affidavits. There is probable cause. PTR says you have 2 previous failures to appear.
Judge, they did an arrest on the exposure of sexual organs.
They unarrested him? Yes. Okay, so what does that mean? They're just gonna give him a notice to appear? Sure.
They didn't give us we didn't get the
We don't-
unarrest.
How do you unarrest somebody?
It's a thing,
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really
I
a
know.
thing.
I've
It's
been
not
trying to
legally a
figure that
thing.
one out, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
I've been trying to figure that one out too.
I mean, can you imagine a trial? So you arrested him and then you unarrested him?
Go back in time.
I've had that come up.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. But it doesn't go over well with the jury. I have the booking report. Yeah, I'll let you look at it.
She got the paper.
No problem. Well, you do have 2 other cases and there is probable cause. And I read the affidavit. I mean, I did read it. What they wrote was enough under the law for PC. Public Defender's Office is appointed. You do qualify. Okay, so I have an affidavit by Deputy Sheriff Christina Chabrier, and she says that per supervisor's charges for this crime are to be filed with the state attorney. All right, so I find that his arrest was lawful for purposes of PC, but I'm gonna RR him at the request of law enforcement that they want to NTA it instead.
I think that makes sense, Judge.
I mean, that's the best way I can state it to try and accomplish what they're intending to accomplish. So that's not a charge on which he's gonna have to meet conditions of release.
Okay, so we're going.
ROR him because they asked for basically the booking report to be recalled.
Okay.
Yeah. Your bonds in the other two cases will be $1,000 each. And, do not return to the scene, have no contact with the listed victims. Thank you. Wanda Lopez. Good afternoon, please say your name.
Wanda Lopez.
Thank you. Ms. Lopez, you were arrested for grand theft. I've read the affidavit, there is probable cause. I read PTR's sheet, and you do qualify for PTR release. You have no previous convictions. You have a year or longer at your current location. I'm gonna PTR you on this, just order you not to have any contact with the listed victim. And Public Defender's Office is appointed. Donald McCard.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. McCard. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine, possession of heroin, possession of paraphernalia. There is probable cause. 1 previous failure to appear. Previous convictions, mostly theft, burglary tools, possession paraphernalia, possession synthetic cannabinoid. Bonds will be stayed, 1,000 count 1, 150 count 2, 500 count 3. Do not possess or consume any illegal substances. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Thank you. So all stayed. Rhonda McCrummon. Hi, are you Miss McCrummon?
I am.
All right. Ma'am, you were arrested for possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia, and there is probable cause. Public Defender's Office is appointed. PTR says you have 5 failures to appear. Convictions to include dealing in stolen property, many drug paraphernalias, resisting without, cannabis possession, theft, many thefts. So your bond is gonna be 1,500 count 1, 500 count 2. Do not possess or consume any illegal substances. Thank you. Mark Perez. Hi, are you Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Perez, you have 2 booking reports, multiple reasons why law enforcement took you into custody. Fraudulent use of personal ID, fraudulent use of credit cards, unlawful possession of a stolen credit card. There is probable cause. The second police report, dealing in stolen property, receiving money from pawnbroker, false pawnbroker verification, and giving false information regarding ownership in a pawnbroker, or in a pawn, put it that way. There is probable cause. PTR, I couldn't quite understand the sheet because it didn't have the normal stuff on here. It talked about like if he had any FTAs, it just had this big list of charges. These aren't open charges, are they? On all this? So these are add-ons? Okay, I see. So these are what he's in jail for already. Got it. Like I said, the sheet's different than the one I normally look at, so. All right, so all bonds will be stayed. I'm gonna order no contact with the victims in these charges. You may not return to any Planet Fitness, and you may not return to any pawn shop if you bond out. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Thank you.
Okay.
Davensky Romaine?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Romaine, it looks like you have 1 booking report that were warrants, 3 counts of failure to appear. Those are all 0 bonds according to the judge who issued the capias. Public defender is appointed. Then you have a new arrest report, 2 counts, resisting without violence and false ID to law. There is probable cause. Bonds are stayed $500 each. PD appointed. Thank you, sir. Joseph Staggs.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. Staggs?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so, Mr. Staggs, on the police report that you have 4 charges: grand theft, possession of meth, possession of cannabis, possession of paraphernalia. The grand theft, there's probable cause, but I'm gonna exercise a 24-hour pass with regard to the drugs. The police report indicates, please see supplemental report for further information regarding the narcotics. I need to see that supplemental report before I can determine whether or not there's sufficient PC. So you can either choose, if you want, to post the bonds that are there, or wait till the 24-hour pass until tomorrow comes, and if there's no PC, I will ROR you on those, but I don't know yet till I see that supplemental. All right, so right now, your bonds are 1,000, 1,000, 500, and 500, and if necessary, I can say I find PC on count 1, and I'm gonna do a 24-hour pass on counts 2, 3, and 4, or we could just do 24-hour pass on everything, which is probably easier that way. Yeah, okay. Well, I just clear, that way you all know why. I don't like surprises for anybody. I like y'all to know what I'm thinking. And, public defender's offices will be appointed. So if he bonds, there are no other conditions, but do not possess or consume any illegal drugs, if he chooses to bond. All right, sir? Thank you. Nicole Tapp.
She's behavior, Your Honor.
All right, for the record, Ms. Tapp was arrested on a warrant for failure to appear, 2 counts, bonds set at 0. Court finds that she's voluntarily waived her right to be present at her first appearances by not behaving, and therefore she gives up the right to be told why she was detained. The probable cause is established by the judge who issued the capias. Bonds stay at 0. PD was not applied for.
She probably
Previously had? Okay, thank you. I'm not resetting her, I'm just doing her IA today. She could just sit and deal. Abel Villa?
Yes,
Hi, are
ma'am.
you Mr. Villa?
Yes, ma'am.
You say Villa or Villa?
Villa.
Okay, just make sure. Mr. Villa, you were arrested on a capias for failure to appear. The judge who issued that capias set your bond at a 0. You don't qualify for the public defender, so you're gonna be on your own to decide if you're gonna get a private lawyer, okay? And I'm not gonna change that bond. You're gonna have to go in front of that judge again.
All right.
Alright.
So that means no bond.
No bond. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. It said didn't qualify. I tried to look.
I just looked like time of the show, but he didn't have it, so get his own attorney.
Joe Wack?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Are you Mr. Wack?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, you were arrested for 2 driving charges: driving on a suspended license with knowledge, 3rd or subsequent conviction, and driving under the influence, and there is probable cause. Your bonds will be stayed, $2,500 on the suspended and $100 on the, well, shouldn't these technically be, I mean, I know there are 2 citations, shouldn't they technically be 2 case numbers?
Because it's a felony.
Oh, because it's a Dwellis habitual, or
Yes.
Dwellis 3rd or subsequent, okay. So 2,500 count 1, 100 count 2, no driving without a valid driver's license. Public defender is not appointed because you didn't qualify, sir. So they'll let you know what your next court date is. It'll be on demand. They haven't set it yet. Thank you. Dawn Ramagli.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Ramagli, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear. You actually have a bond. It's $2,000, so if you can post that, you can get out. It doesn't say, well, let me take a look. It doesn't say what you're gonna do for a lawyer, ma'am. Do you need a public defender, or are you gonna talk to private?
I already have a public defender.
You do already?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. They didn't give me the paperwork, that's why I'm asking.
Okay, can
Thank
I
you.
ask if we can lower the bonds?
I'm not changing another judge's bond, no.
I think I gotta give her new dates now.
No, I don't change another judge's bond, but your
When-
public defender can file a motion.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody don't know what.
You have it?
She get new dates.
Okay.
Can you give me your?
Madam Public Defender?
She get new dates. The case to be heard in remaining Division 84. A pretrial date to be September the 26th at 8:30, courtroom 4B.
Okay, that one.
But I make sure I put it on my order.
Thank you. Adrian Valdez,
She wasn't on our list, Your
Okay,
Honor.
bonded.
bonded. Sean Williams. Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Williams, you have a couple of driving charges as well. You have driving on a suspended with knowledge. You have a violation of a business purposes ticket and driving an unregistered vehicle. In all actuality, I don't find probable cause on the violation, on the violation of the business purpose. There wasn't enough written in there to tell me if it's still an active BPO. It alludes to a previous BPO, but, so I'm not gonna find PC on that one. Yes, sir?
The business purpose license, I was on my way to
You
court.
probably don't wanna talk. Yeah, you're being recorded. Yeah.
So you gonna,
I'm gonna ROR him on count 2, but I find PC for counts 1 and 3.
okay.
All right. And then, count 1 bond will be stated at 500, count 3 bond will be 100. No driving without a valid driver's license.
Hey.
Follow all conditions of any licenses as imposed. PD appointed. Thank you. Dwayne Evans?
Evans is mental health, Your Honor.
Okay, so he needs to be reset?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to set it?
Can we reset when available, like when he's okay to reset? In other words, it doesn't have to keep getting rolled every day and put on the docket every day. You don't know?
So you wanna do it for Monday? You set it for
Sure,
Monday?
yeah, Monday.
One less one for tomorrow.
Okay, hey.
No, I wouldn't do it for that reason. I just want to give Mr. Evans enough time.
Yeah, so Monday's perfect.
Monday's great. Karen Gowen? Are you Miss Gowen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gowen, you were arrested for trespass in a conveyance. There is probable cause. According to pretrial release, you do qualify for PTR supervision. You don't have any, what I would call, significant history that was recent enough for me to worry. Hopefully, I'm correct. You're living in Orlando? Okay. It threw me for a second because it said New Haven Court, and my brain read New Haven, Connecticut, because there is a New Haven CT, which is New Haven, Connecticut. So I was like, she's from Connecticut, but you're from Orlando. All right. So I'm going to PTR you in this case, but I'm going to order you not to have any contact with the co-defendant, which is the other person who was in the car. So you can't have any contact with him, and do not possess any illegal drugs or consume any illegal drugs. PTR is authorized to do random drug testing if you feel it's appropriate. I mean, if you have suspicion.
Okay, so. you're
I'm
not
gonna order
ordering it?
random
Or
UAs.
order- okay.
Yeah. To take away any confusion, random
Okay.
UAs.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, again, it's, like 6 of one, or,
Different, yeah.
it's a little different, I apologize, I don't mean to confuse you. Thank you, ma'am, so PTR, no drugs, random drug test, no contact with the co-defendant.
And public defender.
Public defender appointed, yes. Ezra Swift? Okay. Ezra Swift. Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. Swift?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Swift, you were arrested for battery. I read the affidavit. There is probable cause. According to PTR, you have 2 failures to appear. You don't qualify for PTR release. Bond will be set at $500. No return to the scene, no contact with the listed victim. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Thank you, sir. So bond stayed, but just no contact, no return. Derek Hendrickson?
He's mental health, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hendrickson is not available today. We will reset him for Monday as well. He's in mental health and needs some time to convalesce. All right, Jose Hernandez,
Hernandez wasn't
he's
on
in
our
Ada
list.
County.
He wasn't on our list, Your Honor.
Okay. I have a Jose R. Hernandez, St. Lucie County.
Do you have a booking number for him?
I'll give it to the clerk because I'm not sure where the booking number
Okay.
would be.
19027-107.
Yeah, bond.
Bonded.
Bonded,
Okay,
okay.
great. Stephen Singh? Mr. Singh, you were arrested on an out-of-county warrant, looks like Seminole County, possession. They didn't give me a whole lot of details, but they did say it's a zero bond. So we're gonna call Seminole and let them know you're here, and they'll come pick you up. All right, thank you, sir. Jeremy Thompson? Hi, Mr. Thompson. Sir, you're also on an out-of-county warrant, 2 counts, Brevard County, aggravated battery with deadly weapon. They set your bond at 0, so we're gonna let Brevard know that we found you, and they'll come pick you up.
May I ask a question, Your Honor?
Sure.
You said 2 counts. I only have 1 count in my history.
It's just listed 2 on here, I don't know.
Okay,
I'm reading you what they gave me.
Okay, not a
But
problem.
in any event, they'll come get you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Nicole McKelly?
She's mental health also, Your
All
Honor.
right. Thank you. She'll be reset to Monday as well. Jeremy Morrison? Are you Mr. Morrison? For the record, he's shaking his head yes. Mr. Morrison, you were, let me just look at your paperwork, sir. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, battery, and criminal mischief greater than 2 but less than 1,000. There is probable cause. PD is appointed. Let me just get to the PTR sheet real quick. Does not qualify for PTR. DOC history, robbery with a weapon, failure to appear, extensive probation violations. So your bond will be $5,000 in count 1, $500 in count 2, $1,000 in count 3, no return, no contact with victims, no possession of weapons or firearms. Thank you. Ernesto Beltres?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, are you Mr. Beltres?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. The judge who issued the warrant set your bond at 0. Do you need a public defender, or do you already have a public defender?
No, ma'am. I'm being
Private?
represented by the Urbanski Law Firm.
No problem.
Mr. Brown.
I just wanted to make sure you had a lawyer. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Cornelis Hickson?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, are you Mr. Hickson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you were arrested for warrant on violation of probation. The judge who issued the warrant set your bond at 0. Do you have a lawyer?
No, ma'am, I'm gonna be using a public defender.
And actually, I do have the affidavit, so you do qualify. The PD will be appointed. Thank you, sir. Chase Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, are you Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Johnson, you were also arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. The judge who signed your warrant set your bond at 0. You also do qualify for the PD, so the PD will be appointed.
So there's no way for a bond?
You can file a motion. I don't know which felony judge you have. You could always try and file a motion. VOPs is kind of rough, but
So file a
yeah,
motion?
I won't change the judge's warrant, but yeah, you and your lawyer can talk about filing a motion to set bond.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Jonathan Watts. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Watts?
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm fine, thank you. So you're Jonathan Watts?
Yes, ma'am, I
Okay,
am.
thank you. Sir, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. The judge who signed your warrant set your bond at 0. You do qualify for the PD. The PD's office will be appointed to represent you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Community control, Judge.
Excuse
Violation
me?
of community control.
I'm sorry, violation of community control. I apologize. And then we have Jael Duclair Closada.
Correct.
Hi. Sir, you were arrested for prohibited camping, and it looks like, here we go with the state misdemeanors again. This time, violation of a county ordinance with regard to it being in addition, he was also Orlando City ordinance state misdemeanors based on resisting without violence to his or her person. So, state misdemeanors, the resisting. There is probable cause. It's pleable, isn't it?
Yes, we were just going to ask the court or the state to extend an offer.
Let me look at Mr. Duclair Closado's history. I would, if he wants to plead to the bench, the court would offer him credit time served. Now, you are not obligated to plead. If you don't want to, you definitely don't have to. You can say no, you can fight it, you can make the state file the charges. If you want to plead today, admit guilt, credit time served, you'll be released today.
Would I need to come back?
You would not have to come back, except you have to set up a payment plan through collection court to just pay off your court costs. I have to put court costs on everybody, but as long as you show up to collection court and you make your payments, you won't have a problem.
Understood. Sounds good.
You want to go ahead and take that?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to give you a plea form. Just do me a favor, step back for a minute, read the form. When you're ready, sign it, and I'll call you back up, okay? In the meantime, I can talk to Mr. Mitchell.
Your Honor, they already read the forms in the back.
Oh, do they?
So
Okay.
they're ready to sign when we
Thank
get
you
up.
for that, I didn't know. Yeah, if you're ready to go forward, then I'll just need you to sign the form. What did the court cost?
Did you put out a people form?
He did.
273.
That's total?
Yes.
Okay. And he would have credit for 2 days, yesterday and today?
Yes.
Okay, sir, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please lower your hand and tell me your name.
Jael Duclair Lozada.
Thank you. Sir, I have this plea form with your name on it that the law enforcement officer just passed up to me, the corrections officer passed up to me. Did you sign this?
Yes, I did.
Did you read this?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights that are in the form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Do you need any more time to speak with the public defender?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like anybody forced you to make the choice you're making?
No, ma'am.
Are you acting under the influences of any types of medications, drugs, or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea is something that would be used as a reason to have you deported. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you ever told by a judge or a doctor that you were not competent?
No.
Okay. Are you willing today to waive your rights and enter these pleas to resolve your case?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plea?
Would be no contest. No contest?
Okay. State, if we proceeded with charging this case and then proceeded to trial, would you be able to show that on or about September 14th, 2019 in Orange County, Florida, this defendant was found in an area that is not allowed for people to make camp and to sleep and to stay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And would you be able to show that he did not follow a lawful direction of law enforcement, but to wit, the ordinance violation version and not the M1 version,
Yes, Your Honor.
in light of the circumstances? I'll put it on the record that way so he doesn't get into any more trouble in any other incident for this. So I find that you are alert and intelligent, that you understand that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, and that I have a sufficient factual basis, and I will accept it. Since he was arrested early this morning, it really only is 1 day.
One day?
That's fine. Either way, it's still gonna be credit time served. So it'll be an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, 273 in court costs, report to the collection court, where is it, downtown?
Yes. You want to sign a payment plan or you want to give me you to pay?
I'd rather you do a payment plan.
It's up to you, just how much you want to pay.
Can you do like $15 a month if I start you in October? That's something you think you can handle or no?
No, I have to find a job first.
All right, why don't I do this? As long as you report within 7 days of your release from jail, I'll allow your payments to begin in December. And they can be $15 in December, which gives you all of October, the rest of September, all of October, and all of November to organize where you're gonna come up with a legal source of this money.
Okay.
But you gotta go report and sign up within the next 7 days. If you don't do that, then that deal is off and you could be found in contempt of court and end up back in jail. I don't want that.
Okay, so you're not
I don't
putting him
either.
on a payment plan, you just want him to report in 7 days. I mean, we can put him on a payment plan, he can start on December 1st.
But doesn't he have to go somewhere to sign up for the payment plan?
No, because we'll send it to them and they have it already set up, and then when he come on December 1st, they do all that stuff. But I mean, if you got an order, I'm sending them the order.
Okay.
The updating system.
All right, I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel. Do it the way you
Okay.
said. You don't have to report anywhere specific within 7 days. We're gonna change that part. You have $15 a month or more starting December 1st.
Yes.
Not making that first payment and every month's payments thereafter could then get you into
Yes.
trouble for contempt of court.
Yes.
Understood.
You have 30 days to appeal. All appeals must be in writing, and if you cannot afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one if you qualify. Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Trevon Mitchell? Hi, are you Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell, you were arrested for having an open container of alcohol within the city limits, which is prohibited. There is probable cause.
He would like to resolve the case, Your Honor.
Okay. And looking at your history, last conviction, March 4th, 2019, battery domestic. Florida convictions, criminal mischief, disorderly intox, forgery, sale and delivery, trespassing multiple, municipal ordinance, duelist, possession. Sir, based on the history, honestly, I don't think credit time served is fair, but I'll give you 3 days in the county jail if you want to plead to the bench.
How many days does he have credit for?
Credit for 2.
Credit for 2. So tomorrow.
No,
Today?
Today, yeah.
All right, so no, yeah. Why would it be today?
If it's 1 day less than a full sentence, it's considered a washout.
Okay, well then that's not what I'm intending. So 4 days with credit for 2. So you get out tomorrow. You're not obligated in any way. If you don't want to take that offer, you don't have to. You have every right to make the state attorney file the charges and prove the charges against you.
That last guy had 2 counts, so we run them concurrent. Okay.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please lower your hand and say your name. Mr. Mitchell, I have this plea form that was just handed to me. It looks like it has your name on it. Did you sign this?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights that are in the form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Do you need any more time with the public defender? With the lawyer? Do you need to talk to her any more about this before we move forward?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you sure? Because I can give you a couple minutes to talk to her if you want to, if you need to talk to her about this option, this choice.
I'm okay.
No? Okay. Do you feel like anyone forced you to make the decision you made today?
No, ma'am.
Are you acting under the influences of any types of medications, drugs, or alcohol?
No.
If you are not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea would be used as a reason to have you deported. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you ever been told by a doctor or by a judge that you were not competent?
No.
And how do you plead?
Guilty.
On September 13th, 2019, in Orange County, Florida, within the city limits of the city of Orlando, were you in actual possession of an open container of an alcoholic beverage?
Yes.
So I find that you are alert, that you're intelligent, that you understand, that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, and that I have a sufficient factual basis and I will accept it. State, did you wish to be heard at all on this?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days in the county jail with credit for the 2 days that you've served. Court costs are still $273? $273. Do you have payments that you're supposed to be making towards any other court cases?
No, not that I know of. I know I'm on probation, or supposed to be on probation, back in Jacksonville.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that, and so I don't know if this is gonna create any problems with you. My guess would be no, because it's an ordinance violation, but I can't promise you that. Do you wanna maybe withdraw your plea? It's up to you, sir. I can't, and the public defender can't tell you what the judge in Jacksonville's gonna do. I mean, it's still a,
I'm not on probation. That's what I was telling the public.
oh, that's fine. I thought you said you were. It's on you. If you wanna go forward, we'll do it. If you don't wanna go forward, I'll let you withdraw. It's,
Yes, ma'am. I'm going
it's just,
forward.
we're not making any representations that this won't get you into trouble somewhere else.
Okay,
All
that's
right,
not.
so you wanna just go forward?
No.
I'll put him on a payment plan as well, $15 a month starting in December, give him an opportunity to get on his feet and figure out where the money's gonna come from. You have 30 days to appeal, all appeals must be in writing, and if you cannot afford a lawyer, I will appoint one if you qualify.